it's Carolyn from the Purple Poncho. Today I'm going to show you how to quickly and easily set up your hairpin lace loom. And then if you have some extra yarn of a different color, go ahead and what I do is I cut some strips, 2 strips, and I will show you how to make a lifeline. So I have a hairpin lace loom here, and it comes with several notches, and I like to put it in the second notch from the edge on both ends, and once you get it in there, I clamp it down on the edge. You hear it lock in, but then I really need to press hard together like so, and that way my prongs or my rods are not moving around too much. Okay, and then go ahead and do the same across the top. So if I just snap it in like that, it easily just slides, and we don't want it to be sliding around. So that's why I go ahead and press it together tightly so it's locked in place. Okay, so now the loom is ready, and you could just go ahead and start your hairpin lace at this point. But if you're going to be making long strips and you're going to be taking it off of the loom but yet still continuing to add more loops, I find for myself it's better if I have these lifelines. So I've gone ahead and cut 2 long pieces of yarn in a different color, and what I do is I just tie a knot on the top of the loom around the prong, just like that, and do the same on the other edge or prong, and I just make a simple knot. Alright, just like that. And then I come down, I just bring it down, it's not inside the loom or anything, and just go ahead and wrap it around a few times at the bottom, or you can go ahead and make a little knot here as well. But if you when you make your knot down here at the bottom, just make sure that the string going across is pretty tight, not a lot of slack in there. Okay, you can do that as well. Either way is fine. And then I take the bottom of these 2 lifelines, line them up, and I go ahead and make a knot. I knot them together, and that way later on when my loops are coming down, they eventually will work their way to the base, and they won't fall off of this end because you have a knot here. So that's at the bottom. And another tip is when setting up your loom, when you start your loops, you can go ahead and put in a stitch marker on the side where you start your first loop. And that way you'll know in counting that you started on the loom or the prong that has the stitch marker, and that you'll need to finish your stitching on the opposite side. That way you'll have 1 loop on this one and 1 loop on that one. Okay. And another tip is I place a stitch marker every 25 loops. That way you won't have to recount all the loops every time. So once you get 25 on both sides, slip in a marker on the original side to differentiate and know where you are in your counting. So I went ahead and just added some hairpin lace to this loom so I could show you a few more things. So one thing, if you notice, this is all twisted up now at the bottom. So as you're turning your loom and putting more stitches, when you take off the stitches and the loops, they're going to start twisting round and round, but the runners will keep everything nice and neat in order for you to crochet into them later on. I'll show you what I mean in just a minute. So I've gone ahead and put in stitch markers every 25 loops, and when I get to 100, I pick a different color. That way I can just easily check out my stitch markers and know how many stitches I have. Okay, so to make room, because it's pretty full now, right? And it gets harder and harder to put your hook through the top here as it fills up. Okay, so as you can see, it gets harder and harder, and then you're working up here in the stitches. So we need to make more room. So what I do is take off the bottom runners, let them just kind of hang there, and then open up your loom. Only take off the bottom bracket, and then we're going to gently slide off some of the loops, and they're sliding right onto my runners. And we don't want to take off all the loops, a lot of them, but not all. So just slowly bring them down. Okay. I'm just kind of eyeing it. And then I'm going to put it back on the bracket. And I don't have any runners or anything else underneath. Just putting the prongs back into that same hole there. And then make sure it's clamped down tight so it's on there really well. Okay, it's not moving, it's not sliding up and down, so it's nice and secure. So now what I do, and again, just make sure you have a knot at the end of your runners. Okay, so then just bring your loops down, and then I just wrap it around again at the base here, like so. It's okay if it doesn't stay. You just want a little bit of tension on these runners here. And now you're ready to continue on, and you have more room to keep going. Okay. Another thing I wanted to bring up real quick too is the crochet hook that I'm using is a clover. And it doesn't matter what size, just follow the pattern that you're following. I have several clovers here in different sizes. So the point is, I also have some longer hooks, right? So they have a longer handle on the back. So I don't like to use the longer ones because you're going to have to take the loops down more often to get room to get this in here and around while you're making your loops. So if you have any of these other kind of hooks, they're a lot longer than the clover, so that's why I prefer the clover, just because it's easier to get in and around that loom, across the top around the loom. So once you've completed however many stitches that you need for your project, go ahead and just take the top runners off. We're going to remove it from the loom altogether. So take off the bottom runners, the bottom bracket, and slide out your rods. And then what I like to do right away is go ahead and tie the top as well. So now, then you would end off your yarn, and you'd be ready to store it until you're ready to do your crocheting. Now once I'm ready to start crocheting, I would undo one edge. Okay. And this one is tied together at the bottom, and then I would go ahead and tie this third one here to the bottom as well. And the reason for that is, so now I have both of these ends and this end going into one knot here. So those 3 ends are secure, they're not going to fall off my runners. And I would begin crocheting over here like so. So to begin crocheting whatever stitch you're going to be making, I take out a little bit of the runner, right? Not too many stitches, just a few. And then I pick up the stitches. I'll just use this loop here. I pick up the stitches from the base of my center, meaning these crochet stitches here in the center, these single crochet stitches. So I go to the base and I pull up and single crochet. And go to the base, pull up, and single crochet. And I do that until I get back to my runner again. Okay, so I don't have any more stitches out. So then I just go ahead and take it out of a few more stitches, but I leave it on for the rest of my stitches. I only want a few coming off at a time. And you just want to make sure when you're picking them up from the base that you're not skipping any down here, right? There's nothing back here that you missed. You can go ahead and turn it over and make sure that you're getting every single stitch going across. I know that's happened to me before. You get in a hurry and you think, oh, this is easy. And it is. But you just have to be checking your work every once in a while. But it's really, really fun. The results are really, really pretty, and I hope you will give this a try, and stay tuned for more crochet patterns and tutorials on hairpin lace on my channel. So thank you so much for crocheting with me today, and I hope you have a wonderful day, and like and share, subscribe to my channel, and I will talk to you soon. Thanks again.